Okay, in part 6 we'll be looking at rapid application development with third-party software called IronSpeed Designer. It's totally free. In order to run the software you need a couple of prerequisites. You need Internet Information Services, which comes with Windows XP Pro. You'll need SQL Server 2005 Express, which is free. And you'll need IronSpeed Designer, which is free. There's a free version. We will add a sample database with SQL Server 2005. Then we'll add a contact table to that database. And then we'll use IronSpeed to generate all the VB source code by pointing to that table that we just built. And then we'll run the program. The first thing we need is SQL Server Express and I showed how to install that in a tutorial I did on idealprogrammer.com. So you go to idealprogrammer.com and under databases you select SQL Server, and there's a post called installing tutorial 1, installing it. And the next thing you'll need is IronSpeed Designer, and to get that you go to ironspeed.com. With the going back to the SQL Server, you also need the Management Studio, which I show how to install on that. But okay, for IronSpeed Designer, you just download it here. Okay, once you get SQL Server and IronSpeed Designer installed, you click on Start, All Programs. We now need to build the database, and we go over to Microsoft SQL Server. I have mine in here. And we need this SQL Server Management Studio Express. Click on that. Opens up. You want to connect to your database. It has your computer name and your instance name. Connect. That opens up. So the first thing we need to do is add a database. So right click on databases, say new database. Comes up, enter a database name, let's call it IronSpeed. I'm going to call it 1 because I already have plain IronSpeed out there. And this allocates 2 files, your primary data file and a log file. Oops, did not need to do that. You click on the OK button. This is allocating that. Here's the new database. Now we need to add a table. So we come to tables. We see there's no tables there. So we right click on tables and say new table. It throws you into design mode. You start adding your columns. Now I'm going to pause this while I enter a few things. Okay, I entered my first column. I called it contact ID. I made it integer data type, and I unchecked the nulls because I want to make this the primary key. Then I come down here to where it says identity specification, and I change that. First I expand identity. Identity says does this have to be unique for each row, and that's what I'm trying to make it unique. So I want it to be identity, and this allows it to increment by 1, and the starting one is the seed. So we start with 1 and it increments from there automatically for you. And then we right click on this and we set it to a primary key, and that puts a little key by it. And the rest of the columns are a lot easier, so I'll go ahead and enter those now. Okay, I added the rest of the fields. We have first name, and I made it 25 of end character, and I'm allowing nulls in all the other fields here. Last name, phone, and date added. I made a small date time. And that's it. So now we click on the X to close this table, and it'll ask us, do we want to save it? We say yes. And then we name it contact table, or just contact. Click OK. Now we have our table out there. Now we want to start IronSpeed Designer. I already have mine on my desktop. Yours is probably under all programs. You may have an icon. So I'm starting IronSpeed Designer. Comes up. I say use the free edition. And then I go on create new application, and this shows you the steps, how easy they are. Name your application, choose your page style, select your database, select the tables, and then build and run. That's all there is to it. So we click next, and then we change the application name, make it contact 1. This says where the application will go. It's Net Framework 2.0 or 3.0. We're using VisualBasic.net. And click on Next. And this starts creating the application for us. Then we select a style. I'm choosing Matterhorn. That's highlighted, and I click Next. They give you 5 templates in the free version. Then I select Microsoft SQL Server for my database type. I pull this down till I see the my computer name and instance name that I'm using. I click on Test Connection. The connection was verified. Click on Next. Here's my database. I select that. I double clicked it so it automatically put my table over there, but if I hadn't double clicked it, I would click on tables and then it would put that there. So that's the table we're going to create. Use it as a foundation application. Then I clicked on Next. Then it's all built. We build and run. Recommended for first-time users. And this is compiling the application that it built. Then it'll open it up in a browser. Here's our application all built for us. It's got all the fields that we added. Click on New. Fill in the fields and click on the up arrow to get the date. Click on Save, and the first record is saved. Click on this to edit the record. You can change anything you like. Click on Save, and you can delete your record if you want. That's it. Thanks.